Greetings. Today I, Rushil Anand of class ninth, GD Goenka School, Dwarka, New Delhi, will narrate to you a story with the topic being the dawn of the French Revolution. Lad, get up now or get beaten. There are half a dozen sacks of flour waiting on you to knead them. Move! The baker continued to snap as the boy drowsily rubbed his eyes, adjusting to the light at the door. It was 4 in the morning. Not even the rooster had deigned to crow at this ungodly hour. But just as had been the case for months now, an ever growing queue of chaotic ladies had formed outside the only bread shop in town which hadn't either gone out of business or been picketed. A half awake 15-year-old Jean stumbled into the shop and began kneading, the aroma of bread making him hungry. But fear of the baker? Less so. Outside, he hears familiar noises. The begging of women for bread, even as their earnings splay out on the counter. Not enough for a single meal. Furious outcries demanding an explanation of why the prices of bread have gone up again. And sometimes, just sometimes, the baker abandons his controlling and commanding demeanor and sighs, saying that the taxes are bleeding him dry as well. Jean continued kneading, knowing full well that the dilemma that these women were in had lost his sister a year ago. And he was not earning in gold, but in bread. He attempted not to remember this even as he continued kneading. Just an hour later would begin his usual delivery run in the posh areas of Paris, a delivery run that would change a lot more than the bread's inventory. The air of Paris was always very much alive, with worry, frustration, and many years ago celebration. But today it positively shook with anticipation and pressure. A dam about to crumble could just about compare. The carts were faster, the people were more tense. The soldiers patrolling looked dazed, terrified, and alert at the same time. Women tore down royal notices and policies. It was commonplace, but Jean reeled at the fact that the soldiers did nothing. They only tightened their grips on their rifles, hoping desperately that they wouldn't have to use them. Jean saw pockets of people glaring at them, clenching their fists, but this time they looked ready to strike, rather than just retreat and sulkily stare. As Jean completed his deliveries, the atmosphere ignited a strange fire inside him. He didn't go back to the shop. He decided to follow the tension. And just a minute later, he heard gunfire, uproar, the deafening sounds of footsteps, anger, clanging farm tools, and passionate resistance that spoke of revolution. The chaos was all-consuming. In the rush, he picked up a garden rake from an open stable and ran with the moving masses of enraged protesters towards the Bastille. The gates clanged and bullets flew all around. A man caught one in front of him and fell to the cobbled path, lifeless. Gunpowder, ash and dust filled his throat as he was caught in the middle of a ravaging and storming mob at the forefront of the fight for liberty. The sounds of muskets died out as more and more soldiers were overcome. Many surrendered. Men, women, and children alike clawed and slammed and cracked at the walls of the tower. It was as if Paris had caught a flameless fire that was leaving in its wake a new order. And then that monolith of despotic imperial power that was the Bastille fell. The king was over. The monarchy definitely over. But the revolution, with the adrenaline and hope that surged in Jean was sure that a new day of equality, liberty, and fraternity was just a night away. And the revolution, it had just begun. Thank you.